So, Star Wars happened. Yeah, I watched Star Wars a week ago, last Friday. So, I didn't think it was that bad. I can't lie. It got ripped a lot harder than I think it should have got ripped. So yeah, let me go through it. Honestly, I'm just gonna go through the whole thing. I'm gonna go over this movie. I'm gonna go over the trilogy and just my thoughts on it. So yeah, let's do it. Rise of Skywalker, the last movie of the sequel trilogy, and I can't lie, it's one of my favorite ones. If it's not, it's either the same with like the first one. I literally don't remember what it was called because it's literally that. It's not that memorable at all. It's just a reskin of A New Hope. Anyways, it's The Force Awakens. I think this is better than The Force Awakens, and it's definitely better than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, I don't even want to talk about that movie because it's just such a horrid movie. But this movie wasn't that bad. I watched it, and of course there's some pretty big points that make the movie like, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. But overall, it wasn't that bad of a movie. So I guess we'll just start at the beginning. From what I can remember, I watched this like a week ago, so I might not remember everything. But the beginning has a couple problems. The beginning is just like 20 minutes of them just going to getting stuff, and like it's like a fetch quest in Skyrim, you know? It's like,
you're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?
So I guess that's a lot of exposition at the start, and that wasn't good. Like, it's not good to have that in a movie, especially at the start. It was just a lot of explaining, like, oh, we have to get this. Oh, we have to get this after. Then we have to go here. We have to get that. And it's like, that's not the best way to do a movie. Actually, no, let's go the good stuff first. How about that? Let's do the good stuff first. First off, right off the bat, this movie is gorgeous. Like, it looks amazing. Like, oh my goodness. Like, the opening scene, Kylo Ren just tearing through people with his lightsaber. And there's just so many locations in the movie that look so good. But yeah, that was good. The fight scenes were pretty good. Like, there weren't like Anakin versus Obi-Wan in episode 3, but like they were okay. Oh, Palpatine says do it. I swear, when he said do it, when he said do it to Rey to kill him, I literally went like, I put my fist up in the theater and everything. That's literally the only thing I wanted. I told my friend, if he does that, this movie's a 10. Obviously, it's not a 10. That gave it an extra point just because he said that. The problem is, you have the first movie, Force Awakens, and it's decent. It's not terrible. It's not the best movie ever, but it's decent. And then you get The Last Jedi. And my goodness, I don't understand how you can make such a bad movie. Like, I know it's not easy to make a movie, but like I'm having flashbacks from that scene with Snoke, cause like, oh my goodness, like it's so stupid. He got Night Kinged. Snoke got Night Kinged. Once again, you have this build up of this amazing character, the strongest bad guy ever. Like, he's not the strongest ever, but like the fact that he was using the Force without literally moving his hands, I don't think anybody has done that in any of the movies in Star Wars. So the fact that he's doing that, like, he's this powerful dark side user, and then he just dies. How does that, I don't get how that makes sense. How does it make sense you have this powerful guy, and then he just dies? Who thinks that's a good idea? You subverting my expectations? No, it's bad. If you're to subvert expectations, do it well, because the Game of Thrones and The Last Jedi are a perfect example of how to not subvert expectations. Rian Johnson single-handedly destroyed the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It's just terrible because he completely He completely destroyed the flow of everything. Like, take this in. Snoke was made to be like the biggest bad guy. He dies in the second one. So, J.J. Abrams has to go like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I can't bring like Darth Plagueis out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. So, who do you use? You use Palpatine. You use the Emperor, because that's the only thing you have related to Star Wars was the Emperor. So he kind of had to do that. It's literally just it makes me so mad. Oh, it's literally all Ryan. It's all Ryan Johnson's fault. It's literally all his fault that he did this. He completely destroyed it. I'm like kind of sad, but like I'm just happy the Skywalker saga's over so they can just do other stuff. If Disney is smart, they're gonna go into the extended universe, because that's where all the cool stuff is. I'm talking like Starkiller, Revan, I don't remember how to say his name. Like all the crazy stuff that those guys do, or like Luke Skywalker like stopping time with the Force. Like that's what they need to do. They need to do that because they have the ability to do that, so they need to do that. Another perfect example of Star Wars is The Mandalorian. There's no Jedis. You can even make a Star Wars movie that doesn't have Jedis in it, you know? Like, just in the Star Wars universe. Anyways, Rian Johnson single-handedly tore down the whole Star Wars franchise. Kylo Ren. I completely changed my viewpoint of Kylo Ren over this whole 3 movies. I'd say Kylo Ren is the best part of the new trilogy, because he's actually a good character, I think. Because at first watch Force Awakens, this guy pulls up, he got a wild cross guard lightsaber, and he sounds sick. He just stopped a laser bolt. He's like one of the coolest bad guys I've ever seen. But then he like takes his mask off and he doesn't look intimidating, and he's like, oh, and then he fights Finn. I always thought he should have destroyed Finn, but like, anyway, that's the whole other thing. Like, it seemed like he was posing throughout the whole thing as this bad, dark character, but then I judged too quickly, I think, because I didn't realize the point of the character was that he was torn between being the bad guy, but deep down he was really the good guy. He had a dark side and a light side, but deep down the light side was trying to get out. He was Ben Solo. He was a good guy. And the end of this trilogy really brought that out, as that he was a good person. In the end, he's a good person. I can't lie, he is my favorite part. I definitely do think so. The fact that he brought back Rey from the dead was pretty cool, because like his own grandfather, who he looked up to, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, whichever one you want to call him, Palpatine told him that in like episode 3 or 2, I think it was 3, pretty sure it was 3, that the Sith, you could find the power to bring people back to life. And Anakin can never do that, and that was like, but then Ben Solo, his grandson, actually succeeds in bringing people back to life. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Kylo Ren, solid character. He's pretty cool, I can't lie. But now, we get to Rey. Rey is just a whole other thing. She is so strong. Like, oh my goodness, she's so strong. And at first, I like Rey more now than I did before, because this movie kind of explains more stuff, but like it's still insane how strong she is. I feel like it's not like earned. How is this girl this strong? Who is she? You know, is she just a random person that can just do this? She never loses. I heard that she never takes damage. She gets hit like once in the whole 3 movies. But like, she never loses. She barely ever trains. I'm assuming from 2 to 3 there was a really big gap in time, because she's literally like levitating with rocks around her, like literally like Avatar state Aang. I'm assuming there's a big time gap, because I don't know how she learned to do that. Because she doesn't learn anything. She goes to Luke Skywalker's little place where he drinks milk from these things. I'm not even gonna talk about that. And she just swings her lightsaber around and cuts a rock. You know, it's like the reveal that she's Palpatine's granddaughter. It makes sense. Palpatine is the Emperor is one of the strongest Sith ever. So it makes sense that she would have some type of power passed on to her. It just doesn't. it doesn't feel earned. That's the thing. But it makes more sense now that I watched the whole thing back. The thing is now, I kind of appreciate the movies a little bit more now that I've watched the last one, because it just, everything makes a little more sense. When Rey was on Luke Skywalker's planet and she went to the dark side a little bit, went through that vision, it's like, okay, that makes sense. She's got Palpatine in her. She's got like straight evil in her. But there's major things wrong with the movie. The biggest one is literally just Palpatine. It's like, is Anakin even the chosen one? He was supposed to stop the Sith, you know? It's like, is that even the thing? I don't know. It's weird. Palpatine's alive, first of all. Okay, whatever. He's alive. I wasn't that serious. But then he does the most like supervillain like anime thing ever. It's like, I have so many Star Destroyers. Like I have so many Star, like they literally just rise out of the ice. And I was like thinking, and they all have the capability of destroying planets. I was like, that's interesting. Where did he get that? Why did nobody know about this? They say, oh, he was in the Outer Rim in the dark area. But like, who built it? You know? It's like, how did he get those Star Destroyers? It doesn't make any sense. J.J. Abrams has to do something, because once again, Rian Johnson completely destroyed it. Because Palpatine was supposed to be in the third movie. Snoke was probably supposed to live, and they're going to be going to fight him later. And it's like, he's supposed to be the bad guy. That's what I'm thinking, at least. But then, pop, Snoke's dead. Sorry. J.J. Abrams is scrambling. It's like, what I do? Palpatine. The movie was entertaining, I'd say. It was entertaining. The little Baba Frook, I don't remember his name. That guy was kind of funny. Yeah, this was a lot better. Oh, another big part was Finn. Finn was wasted potential. Finn could have been a really good character, and then he was just thrown to the wayside in The Last Jedi. In this one, he was kind of thrown to the wayside. It just wasn't. I think they could have used him a lot better. He was clearly force sensitive. I feel like they could have fleshed him out better. I don't know what to say. I'm glad they're done. But this, once again, I think this is my favorite one out of all of them. Because The Force Awakens is just boring. It's the same thing. It's like The Lion King, the new one. It's just a reskin of the same story, basically. The Last Jedi is just awful filmmaking. And this one is the only one that seems kind of unique. Like, there's not that many great things about the movie. Like, it's fine. You know? It's a fine movie. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. Well, you can say it's terrible because of all the plot holes. But I'm a Star Wars. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, so I still like it for what it is. You know what sucked though? I really thought that Rey and Kylo were gonna fight Palpatine, like 2v1. Palpatine pulls out dual red lightsabers and they just go at it. That would have been so sick. That's what I think. That was a really missed opportunity. I feel like they spoiled a lot of the movie. Maybe it's my fault for watching it. Why don't you guys watch like all the TV spot stuff they dropped? Like, I feel like they dropped a lot of stuff. Cause like, I was watching the movie. I was like, oh yeah, I saw this part and all the stuff they released on YouTube. So like, I was watching the movie. I was like, yeah, I know a lot of this stuff because I've seen it before. I think they released a little bit too much. Maybe it's my fault for watching it. I guess there was that transportation thing where they're like, Kylo and Rey could like they could literally like physically touch each other. I put it into perspective. These guys are like, Kylo and Rey are so strong. The fact that Luke Skywalker astral projected himself, wherever you call it, and he was an illusion and you couldn't touch him, and he died after from doing it. But Kylo Ren and Rey can literally grab objects from other places, like Goku's instant transmission. Like they're insanely strong. They're so strong in this movie. It's like it's pretty crazy. That technique was weird for me because I don't know. It was like, why didn't Kylo Ren like just do it all the time, and then like try to kill her all the time? If he can physically grab her, and like maybe they can only just restrain that you can only grab, you can't. Like they were fighting. It's just confusing. I don't know. It was very weird. It was an interesting power, I guess, but it was just weird to me. But yeah, it's just, it's fine. That's all I can say. It's just a fine movie to me. I think it's getting a little bit too much hate. I think people are riding the hate train from Last Jedi over to Rise of Skywalker. J.J. Abrams had nothing to work with. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to pick up the scraps from a terrible movie. It's just really bad. It's really hard to do that. So I respect J.J. Abrams for making a decent movie off that. Rise of Skywalker, it's out. If you haven't seen it and you're a Star Wars fan, because you think, oh, I'm not going to watch it anymore, I'd go watch it. I recommend you go watch it. If you are a Star Wars fan, you probably already have. I recommend to watch it because I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed it. It's my favorite one of the bunch. So, Rise of Skywalker, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7. I like doing movie reviews. I think I might do more. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, the whole deal, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.